treat my baby that way. I apologize. Believe me. Oh, believe me, I do. I apologize. Honest and true. Because I know I was wrong. And so I sing you this song that I'm trying to get through. And make it up to you. Just because he was there when the road gets rough, you say things you should not say. I never meant to treat my daddy that way. I apologize. Believe me. Oh, believe me, I do. I apologize.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Time for a Change with Sherry
and McKeon.
And we are here today. You know, we come to you from Vox Wave every first and second Monday of the month, and we talk about healthy and unhealthy relationships and how to move past it in life after abuse.
Amen.
Okay. All right. So, hey, McKeon, so what's going on? What you do this weekend?
Oh, my goodness. This weekend was really quiet for me.
That's a first.
It is a first. And, you know, I always take these opportunities to definitely, you know, to relax and regroup. Been so busy from September all the way through November. So now that December is coming in, I'm just winding down, getting my 2018 calendar together and getting ready to go on my 4-day sabbatical. Yes. So we're going to be getting away for a few days and just, you know, trying to get away from all the chaos and everything, you know, and just be one with ourselves and God and just see, you know, give us that time where he can download some more things.
You need that self-reflection, just that downtime, you
Absolutely.
know? It's long overdue.
Oh, my goodness. Long overdue.
To just leave the phone alone and,
because we can't even talk on we can't do no work on our phones.
Not
when we
at
go
all,
away.
though?
No. No.
You can't look at Facebook?
We can look at Facebook, but we can't engage in any type of work. This is a 4 days of total relaxation.
I can't write or anything.
You can write.
Okay.
You can write, but you can't schedule no appointments.
Okay.
No speaking engagements, anything until we get back.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do.
I can do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we got into, I gave myself into the 14th.
Right.
So I'm making putting down, getting my calendar together.
Okay.
And getting my things I'm going to do for the end of the year, how I'm going to recap all the things like that, and, you know, get them done before. So the last 2 weeks
because
of
both
the
of
year,
us are working with Tamisha, and she has us doing a lot of homework.
Tamisha, she is awesome.
Yeah.
I told you guys we have this awesome strategist coach, and I'm telling you guys, she has taken our business, our individual business to that next level. I'm telling you, if you're going into 2018 and you do not have a business coach or someone who's helping you strategically put your goals in place, I'm telling you, you're going to keep running around like a dog chasing its tail. You have to get that in order. So if you're looking for someone, we have a dynamite girl. Her name is Tamisha LaRue. She is on Facebook at T LaRue Solutions, LLC. You guys must check her out.
She's awesome already. Like, she has me doing major homework.
Oh, we get homework all the time.
Because I'm rebranding the entire Keon Works, and you guys have known me for 2009. So what's that, 5? No, that's longer than that. 8 years?
Yeah, you 8
it's
years
like
in.
8.
Wow.
It's been 8 years. So you've known me for 8 years as Keon Works, KEOM Works. But starting in 2018, she's got me all rebranded. Some things are going to change. I told you guys, get ready, right? Because
and what we say?
It's not going to be
2018
new
levels.
Next year of next levels.
Next levels.
So we're going to own that motto and take it to the next level.
Amen.
We're ready.
Amen. We're ready. Y'all are going to see some awesome stuff come from the Lakeisha Brown Foundation, from Keon Works, keeping each other motivated, and also Time for a Change.
Time for a Change.
And other collaboratives that we have out here. I mean, y'all, it's going to be awesome. 2018 is definitely going to blow your mind. It is definitely the year of rebirth.
Yeah.
The year of rebirth.
Yeah,
so definitely, y'all get ready.
And I definitely want to encourage you guys that are listening real quick, that if you are in the business of shopping for a car and you want that boutique type car, you want a higher end type vehicle, make sure you come on out to Star Imports, which is at 4711 Off Place, or is it Off Drive? Off Place out and make sure you come out here and make your purchase. And when you come, make sure that you mention Time for a Change. Let them know that we sent you. Let them know that Sherry and McYon sent y'all out so that you can get your special appreciation gift. Make sure you come on out, all right? So that's Star Imports. And I'll give you that website in the next phase, okay? But we do have in the news, and that we'd like to discuss, because of course we know that domestic violence is running rampant in our community, and we do have a couple of things that have gone on this week and beyond. So McYon, you want to lead us into the news?
It was definitely a story in the news. It was about a young lady. She was in Detroit, a young lady out of Detroit. And she had a protection order against her abuser, her ex-boyfriend, and everything. And as a matter of fact, they even had a child together.
Oh, yeah.
And so after she had the baby, she decided that she no longer wanted to be with him, because when she told him she was pregnant, he had actually pushed her down a flight of steps. And so at that time, she put it down in a protection order, and she went on and lived her life without him. Well, after she had the baby, he came back around, started reaching out to her. She was already in her new apartment and everything. She had housing. And so she told one of her best girlfriends that he was, reaching out to her again. So her girlfriend felt a little worried about the whole situation. And so she went and stayed with her for a while. So what happens, the ex-boyfriend comes to the house, and he's banging on the door. He wants to get in. They don't let him in. Well, he actually kicks the door in. He kicks the door in. He go in with a gun, and he shoots and kills the best friend. He shoots the girlfriend. He shot her 7 times, but she survived, and then he shot and killed himself.
Where was the baby?
The baby was right there. The friend, she was actually protecting the baby. And so it was crazy, because when the story first came out, it was led to be that as if the girlfriend went to the friend's house and he followed her there, and that's how the girlfriend was murdered. But it wasn't actually that. She actually went there. It's because, your girlfriend going through something, you go over there to be able to give her some support and things like that, and not knowing that he would eventually kick the door in and murder her. So her best friend actually was murdered trying to protect her.
Right. And that's also very important, ladies, when you think about the plan and how you create your plan. It's very important that I know that your best friend may want to help you out. But if he knows where your best friend lives, that's not the safest place for you to go.
Absolutely.
I know best friend wants to do her part, but as part of the plan, we need to start letting people know the safest place is not for you to go where he knows where you could possibly go.
And it was strange with the story, because it had said that she had decided to leave him after he pushed her down the steps when she was pregnant. But then he knew where to come after she had the baby. So she had to be in contact with him to tell him where the new house was at, because she had went through a shelter, had got placed in a new place and everything, and he came there. So my thing is that, in these relationships, in these abusive relationships, we have to understand and know that if a person kicks you down the steps when you're pregnant, or if a person is threatening you, you have to believe that they will do it. You have to believe that they will do it. It should have never been, I don't know what the conversation was. Maybe she started feeling bad because she had the baby. She wanted him to see his child. but you can't do it like that.
Right.
Once you get a protection order, you may as well follow up through the courts. Let the courts handle it. Have supervised visits or someone else.
Somebody
know,
else.
they can pick the child up and all these things.
Exactly.
You definitely have to remove yourself out of that situation.
Right.
And so I just wanted the girls to know that, we can't keep giving these chances and thinking that everything is going to be okay. Because right when at that point when you let your guard down,
right,
that may be
the last time you give your guard
you're
down.
sealing your death. That you may be sealing your death with that.
Yeah, well, we talked about that similar issue in Texas, right, where the mother she left, and she thought that she was going to try and work it out. Brought the man into the home, and he killed her daughter. By stabbing them. Over and over again.
The daughter was in her room, and she heard them fighting again, and she gets up in the middle of the night to go and help her mother, and this ex-boyfriend ended up stabbing her up and killing her daughter.
Yep, and killing her daughter. So this is nothing new. We're hearing this more and more, and it's just important that we kind of take heed from these lessons that, unfortunately, that we have to learn in this tragic way. But we need to start taking heed of these lessons, and I think by us talking more about this is really, Me Too, right? It's kind of bringing awareness to all of this. So I hate that happened, but we will definitely be talking more about crime and all of that, and murder, and we're going to be talking more with Mr. Daryl Hairston, who's here in the studio with us from Crime Victim Foundation, and we will definitely be talking to him in just a few, and his lovely wife. So I want you guys to stay tuned. We have more to talk about. We promise you that it won't be a grim show. We want to bring you information. We need to keep you informed. When you don't know any better, you don't do any better.
That's right.
Right? So we want to keep you informed. Sorry, but Time for a Change is not about entertaining. We're not going to entertain you. We're going to inform you. And so take a few moments. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Mr. Daryl Hairston and his wife.
You're here, I'm pleased, I really dig your company, your style, your smile, your peace mentality. Lord, have mercy on me, I was blind, now I can see what I came supposed to be. Baby, I feel free, come on and go with me. Let's take a long walk around the park. After dark, find a spot for us to spark conversation, verbal elation, stimulation, share our situation, temptation, education, relaxation, elevation. Maybe we can talk about Surah 31:18. Your background, it ain't squeaky clean shit. Sometimes we all got to swim upstream. You ain't no saint, we all a sinner. But you put your good foot down and make your soul the winner. I respect that. Man, you're so fat, and you're all that. Plus supreme, then you're humble. Man, I'm numb, yo, with feeling. I can feel everything that you bring. Let's take a long walk around the park after dark. Find a spot for us to spark conversation, verbal elation, stimulation, share our situation, temptation, education, relaxation, elevation. Maybe we can talk about Revelations 3:17. Or maybe we could see a movie, or maybe we could see a play on Saturday. Or maybe we could read and feel the breeze and listen to a symphony. Or maybe chillin' just me. Or maybe we could take a cruise and listen to the roots. Or maybe eat some passion fruit. Or maybe fly to the blues. Or maybe we could just be silent. Come on, let's take a long
right, welcome back. Welcome back to Time for a Change with Sherry.
And McYon.
We're back in the studio and we're live. We have Daryl Harrison and his wife Tina Harrison, and they're here talking to us from the Crime Victims Foundation, which they established after their 20-year-old son, Daryl Harrison, was murdered at Best Wings in Temple Hills, Maryland. What year was that?
Last year, 2016, May the 5th, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a year and a half for us now.
Right.
Know, but we're dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a nightmare inside of reality.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I tell people. It's a nightmare in reality to have this call.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who have lost a loved one due to any violence, that call, that initial call, shocks you.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can't believe it happened, and I'm still there. You know, to get that call that night, you know, that my 20-year-old son had been shot. And I couldn't understand because talking to him, dead. I'm up at the store buying me something to eat. You're hungry. You want anything? Nah, we good. See you when you get back.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's all about. So, but when I received the call that he had been shot, you know, I'm like understanding, trying to like, but did he lie to me? Or he ain't no restaurant yet, somewhere he shouldn't have to be. But he was where he was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have always spoke to him about being in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't care for clubs. I know you want to go out, club and party and all that. I said, but the way y'all young boys dealing with territory today, gangs and violence, I don't want this. So I would never expect for my son to get killed in a restaurant buying chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, after talking to him, we get a call later that he'd been shot. You know, and then his friends have took him to, he was taken to Southern Maryland Hospital, but I didn't know at the time his friends took him to Southern Maryland Hospital. You know, we jumped up, get dressed, we run down Southern Maryland Hospital, not thinking that Southern Maryland is not a trauma hospital center.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
whether they could have kept him at the scene, but being that it was a head wound, I know his friends had to overreact, you know, seeing blood. You
They
know.
didn't know.
The kids discussed it with me. You know, the bullet went through his head.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they trying to hold both sides of his head to keep the blood from coming out. And it was emotional for them. But, you know, as we arrived at the hospital, we sat down and doctor talked to us, told us that he had a terrible wound. A lot of people don't recover from that, you know, and you got to sit there and hear this of your child who you love dearly, that you raised from birth and cuddled with. And I'm still in the daze. Every day I'm still in the daze, just thinking about it. So, you know, they had him stable, and I'm like, okay, God, come on, give me a chance. Work with me on this one here. And then they was like, we had a medevac to Washington Hospital Center, but it was storming. Had a storm coming up, and they was like, we're going to do it by ambulance. I'm like, Lord Jesus, then y'all got to carry him through the streets all the way up to Washington Hospital Center. But he would never stay stable. Every time they try to unhook him to put him into the ambulance, he would never stay stable. He just kept. We always outside waiting on them to come and tell us what they're going to, you know, see them bring him out so we can follow the ambulance. But they came out and told us that he wasn't going to make it, that he had died 3 times, and they wanted to know what we was going to do. And I was like, I just need you to keep him alive. But that wasn't possible. You know, that wasn't in God's plans. And we had a lot of family there, so we was all allowed to huddle around him and say goodbye and hug him. And, you know, it's something that will be with me for the rest of my life. You try to change from, you know, watching my son lay there with a bandage across his head up around this one eye here, staring off, you know, knew automatically was gone. And all that just traumatized me. I had to go see psychiatrists and things. So, and the last thing I remember leaving my son there was I went to reach for his hand, and homicide was there. And they're like, oh, you can't touch him. And that stays with me. You know, you're going to tell me I can't touch my son in the flesh one last time. And I mean, I left that hospital, you know, and when you talk to other people, they say, I don't know how you did it. I couldn't have done it. I don't know how I did it either. All I knew is that I lost my 20-year-old son, who I prayed for every night to God to keep my child, and my child is now gone. You know, I call the funeral home people that I socialize with that go to church with me, but I didn't know his body had to go to Baltimore first because it was murder. And just to know my baby was laying on the iron metal table, going through an autopsy, and I think me and my wife stayed up for about 5 days straight. She was on Mama Hurt and Pain. I was on wine. I just drank 3-4 wines of bottles every day, and we had to prepare for a funeral. And like I tell people, my mom died May the 2nd of 2015. And we just was celebrating our mother first year, you know, and he was really, you know, tight with his grandmother, and now he's gone. And both of their funerals was on the same day, May the 13th.
Wow.
Hers was on May the 13th on a Tuesday. His was May 13th on a Friday, a year later.
Wow.
And it was just a terrible thing, you know, to see my baby laying in that casket, and didn't know what I'm going to do, you know, and mama. You don't know through the emotion is you're going to, you know, I knew I wanted to join them at that time. I wanted to join them. You know, God, you know, why couldn't it have been another way? I told God that you said that you would never put more on me than I can bear. But I don't know why you thought I can bear this. And then I told God that you said that you know the plan you had for me.
That's right.
It was not to harm me, but it was to prosper me and give me a expecting ending. I said, but I feel harmed. But if you restore me, so this been a journey. This been a journey that I can't grab onto. I mean, you never know. Every day is never the same. Emotions rise up different every day. I can't sleep at night, so I had to go to a psychiatrist and get medication so I can sleep at night. I had several nervous breakdowns since it. Now I'm on my worst one of all since the court date. You know, going in the courtroom with a family wanting mercy and another family wanting justice, and that hurt me. You know, nobody was. I think it was only one person, his brother, was more remorseful and said he's sorry. But everybody else was like, oh, we shouldn't send him away that long, and he got a son to raise. My son ain't got enough. I told the judge, and then this guy standing here with breath of life, family behind the love. My son at home in the urn, ashes and bones due to his behaviors and actions. So I promised my son, as he lay there, your killing would not go in vain. It would not. So I started creating T-shirt designs, and by October of 2016, my first T-shirt design came out. Set the website out. I mean, it was done. I was a grieving father on the run. I don't know if I ever, like people said, being that I probably never grieved that much because I was running. You know, I wanted to do this. We went to counseling with Kathy, and it's a world that I have now met other moms, met other fathers, and something needs to be done different about it because it's a mental health.
Absolutely.
It's a mental health, you know. Your baby not in his, you know, the first 3 days after he was gone, my wife told me, Daryl, he's not coming back. I'm looking out the blinds in the window to see him walk through the driveway. I'm walking in his bedroom, you know, opening up the bedroom door because that's, you know, my son.
Right.
And you ask God over and over, why? Why? And, you know, and I remember the story of Job. Job said, the thing that I fear the most have come to light.
There it is.
And it was there in my lap. And I felt I was doing great with it, but the court hearing put me in another position. After going to court and going through, I had a lot of anger to come up.
Well, I just want to say to you and Tina that you guys definitely have our deepest condolences with the loss of your son, Daryl. And I know exactly what you guys are going through. I lost my 18-year-old daughter 10 years ago. Her boyfriend murdered her, and he shot her right in the head.
Wow.
And it's just so amazing just to sit here and hear your story because it sounds similar to mine. You know, that whole mindset of trying to understand what's happening and getting that phone call and you're like, is this real? Is this a dream? What are you talking about? My kid? No, this can't be right. And so in understanding that, and I remember in that moment, even before that even happened to my daughter, and God was speaking with me, and it was a sermon that my pastor had preached at church, and his message was, what is God preparing you for? So 3 months before I lost my daughter, I heard that sermon, and I couldn't shake it. So I kept on saying, okay, God, what are you preparing me for? And God told me Job. And so I started reading the book of Job. I started reading it, and I'm started understanding, I'm seeing all these things that he had lost, but he was a faithful man. He was faithful to God, that in spite of everything that he was going through. And then God gave him everything back. And so I held on to that. And so the day when I lost my daughter, the first thing God said to me after I dropped the phone, God said again, Job. And that's when I understood and I knew. And so God, he is with us in those moments because he already knows what's going to happen and it prepares us. But I know that other side of it too, that when you do lose yourself and that PTSD kick in. And because see, even for me, I never knew about PTSD, only that it affected the military.
Sure, that's correct.
I never knew that it affected anybody that had experienced any traumatic experience.
Yes.
And so, you know, going through these things and sleepless nights and all of this, and what I kept on doing in those moments, because I couldn't sleep for 72 hours, I was up. And that was it for me because I prayed to God and I said, you know what, God, you know this ain't healthy. I have to sleep. I said, but when I close my eyes, I don't want to be tormented in my sleep. I don't want no nightmares. I don't want those bad dreams associated to my child. You know, I want to remember her for who she was in the good times. And God granted me that. I've been able to sleep ever since that day. I've never been tormented in my sleep. And because I understood that, okay, God, I know that I can lose my mind in this.
Yes.
I know that I could lose me, so I had to pull on my strength from God to understand. And even like I was talking to you earlier, Daryl, and I was telling you, it's a daily thing. Because a lot of people don't understand, and I know with you, Tina, that once the funeral is over and everybody go back into their own ways, is that you still have to every day get up and say, how do I deal with life today with my child never coming back?
That's what it been.
How do you do that? And I tell people, I say it's a fight every day just for your sanity. It's a fight every day that I get up. You know, I go about my life and I do things and I'm a happy person and everything, but it's a battle.
Yes,
a lot of times people don't know that I probably was up half the night crying and praying just so the next morning when I get up to meet other people that I still have a smile on my face.
I posted something the other day of that. Don't be envy. It says, don't be envy of others because you don't know what they went through to get what they got, and you don't know what they're going through to keep what they got. And I just put that on my page the other day because it's true. Like people, you know, they look at my truck and they see me doing T-shirts, and I got to find it ain't about fame, it ain't about glory, it's about the grief. Because I met other parents and family have lost loved ones. They don't know nothing about help. They didn't receive no help. All they know, I met parents that have drink themselves constantly. Falling apart, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I understand. You know, my wife been the strongest of it all. You know what I'm saying? She's keeping me together. I'm supposed to keep them together. She been the one keeping me stable because as a father, to lose your son, you know, just like I tell people, if you ever looked at the movie 300, in 300, his father was fighting beside him, you know, his son, and then he seen his son get you seen the anger and to see his baby like that. Anybody see that? The crowd when you see your child like that. And that's why I say that every time I shut my eyes and went to sleep, all I could do was picture him on that table with that one eye open. And I kept trying to duck that thing, but I tortured myself. My wife would tell you, I mean, it was just funny. The other day we was out, and she looked at my feet, she like, you got on mismatched shoes? I said, well, I found one and couldn't find the other, so I grabbed another shoe. And she's like, boy, you will need some help. She said, one is the bedroom slipper, one is the tennis shoe. Hey, you know what I'm saying? But it's, you know, to hear your story, it's rough.
Mm-hmm.
People just don't know. I mean, I don't get to, you know, I wake up some days wanting to hold them again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then when you have a dream, and my dream's been great with them. You know, I only had about 3, and just in the dream, you acknowledge that you're in a dream.
Yeah.
But just to talk to them and hold them in your dream, because my first dream I had of him was like 3 days later. And I thank God that I learned, like you said, Job. I read Job. I went straight to Job after it was over with. And I had to go to this room in the dream to talk to him on a special phone.
Mm-hmm.
So I get there and I'm like, dude, what's going on, man? What's up? And he like, I'm all right, Dad. I'm like, Daryl, what's going on, man? Like, Dad, I'm all right. I'm like, do you need some money? Dad, I'm all right. I'm like, do you need me to come and see you? Dad, I'm good. I'm okay. I don't need nothing. And I woke up out of the dream and never thought about it until, you know, later. You know, after going through the funeral, people don't know how I like to sign a death certificate for your child. Call about benefits that you had. You know what make it so bad? He had benefits on himself. You know, he had just got his job. He graduated 2015 and started working October 2015. And he was, you know, he was proud of him. You know, and all this taken away. You know, I told the judge in court, I put blood, sweat, and tears in him so he can be a great man. You know, I wouldn't let my son play with guns. And just like anybody know, I got a past history of a drug dealer. But he never got to see that life. You know, and I thank God for that, because just to give him my name, because I felt like, man, you ain't got a couple of felonies and you don't want his name to get caught up because of your name.
Right.
But I changed so he can have my name and won't have no issues. And, you know, people say you must have to love him. You know, you like see the truck, name across the truck, Daryl Harrison Crime Victim Foundation. Big picture, biggest day on the side of the truck. And, you know, I thank God for giving me 20 years with him. I have digest that part, but like I said, the healing process, like you said, you talking about 10 years for you. Us, it's a year and a half. You know.
And I definitely want to go into that more when we come back. I want to talk about that healing process. I know we're in the beginning stages of it, but there are stages to this. I want to talk more about the foundation and what you guys do, and the support for families, and the devastating effects that this is definitely having on the family is very important. So we're going to go ahead and go to break, and when we come back.
And also, we want to be able to talk with Tina and just to give us the perspective of, you know, a mom and how it has impacted her life.
Definitely. We want to hear from both of you on that. So we'll be back. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back.
We'll be back.
I appreciate y'all doing that.
My saddened heart, my sunrise, my darkest dreams, all my hostilities tame when you kiss me. Come into my darkened room, come where I'm waiting here just to please you. All I want is you, all I want is you. Love on me, all I want is you. Nobody a day goes by that I don't burn for you. Find myself yearning for the heaven that you bring me from your black hands. Touch me. Wanna feel you inside me. All I want is you. Love on me. All I want is you. All I want is you. Come on. To love on me. All I want is you. All I want is you. Don't nobody hold me. Don't nobody kiss me the way you do. Assuming nobody. Don't nobody hold me. Don't nobody kiss me the way you do. Nobody. Don't nobody hold me. Don't nobody kiss me the way you do. Nobody. Don't nobody hold me. Don't nobody kiss me the way you do. Nobody. So you finally came. I've been waiting for hours. Kiss me. Just waiting. Come inside me. I have something for you. Kiss me. Kiss me. Come inside me. Come into my darkened room. Come here. Where I'm waiting. Come inside me to please you. No, let me do that. Kiss me. Come inside me. Kiss me. Why must I wait? Come into my darkened room. Where I'm waiting. To please you. Kiss me. Come inside me. Kiss me. Just a little while longer. Kiss me. Kiss me. Yes. Come into my darkened place, where I'm waiting to feel you. Kiss me. So you wanna know if it's yours? Touch me. I shouldn't have to say it, you should feel that. Come here. Don't nobody. Don't nobody. Don't nobody kiss me. Kiss me.
You want to do it? Yeah.
Hello. Welcome back to Time for a Change with
Sherry.
and McYon. So before we go into the second part of our interview with our awesome guest here, we want to let you know that here at Voxwave Radio, we are doing a Toys for Tots. So the 2017 toy drive for the kids, you can come drop the stuff off at 4711 Off Place, Suitland, Maryland. The deadline for drop off is December the 20th. We will be
Or
wait a minute, ho. It says, or donate to a local charity. I didn't know what that was. Okay, so the Live Music Foundation. So they will receive 100% towards this toy drive. Okay?
And if you can't make it out to Auth Place, just get in contact with me on McYon, and we'll pick them up for you and drop them off here for the Toys for Tots. You know?
Absolutely.
We definitely want to look out for the little ones so that they'll have to wake up to something for Christmas.
Absolutely.
And don't forget the big kids.
Yes, let's do it for all the kids.
Right. Like, we always get a lot of Toys for Tots for like the little children.
The little babies.
What about the teenagers?
You know, someone else was talking to me about that. They do a toy drive every year. And they said that too. They said, you know, I always get the toys for the little children, but when it comes to the teens,
I guess it's so expensive for them nowadays. But there's
not a book.
That if they read it,
we gotta promote reading.
Well, that is true. We gonna promote reading.
Yes, reading.
We gonna get y'all some
reading
books.
Is fundamental.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you can go any
That's
place
gonna
in the
get
world
y'all.
in a book. You can have any type of experience in reading. Reading is always an awesome thing to do.
So make sure that you also tune in to VoxWave.com daily. They have daily shows. We have daily shows Monday through Sunday, actually. You can visit the website for more details on all of the shows. Time for a Change will be added soon. I'm sorry it's not up there right now, but it will be added. So make sure you go to VoxWave.com to look at all of the daily lineups for all of the shows. And if you're interested in having a show, please get in contact with us. Sherry Up McYon, you can send us an inbox message, and we can definitely give you a hookup on that. And if you're interested in sponsorship or advertising on VoxWave, or you're interested in sponsoring the show, please give us a call. Send us an inbox message to timeforchangeradio@gmail.com. That's time4 with the number 4, changeradio@gmail.com, and we'll definitely get back to you so that you can definitely start advertising on VoxWave and sponsoring Time for a Change. We look forward to doing business with you. So let's go ahead and get more in depth with our guest today. Our guest, Mr. Daryl Hairston, and his wife Tina Hairston are here in the studio with the founders of Crime Victims Foundation. So we're definitely going to talk a little bit more about, of course, this devastating effect that crime is having on our families, our community, and we definitely need to have this open conversation. So, and I also want to find out the outcome of you guys' court case, and I want to find out a lot more of what the foundation does and how people and our listeners can support you.
Okay.
So we'll turn it over to them.
Hello, Tina.
Hello,
Welcome.
Tina.
Hi.
Over there all quiet. How are you?
I'm fine.
I know this is a sensitive subject,
Yeah.
and I'm definitely aware of that. I've have a couple of tears myself, trying to hold back. But I want to ask you, from a mother's point of view, any advice that you can give to our mothers that may be listening from what you're dealing with. How can we process this? And I know it's brand new, but
Yeah. Well, really, you can't get through it without God. It's number one. Keep praying. And that's just my focus. I focus on God. You know, actually, God had gave me a dream where my son was like 3 years old. And in that dream, my son wasn't with us anymore. So when it actually really happened, then I was a little bit more prepared for it when he actually passed away, because God had already brought that to me, and I already knew that somewhere in some time that would happen. So I went into mother mode more so than anything. And we just took care of everything. I let him take care of everything with the funeral and everything. But I was just there for everybody, you know, my daughters and his friends and his girlfriend. And, you know, I was more so trying to comfort them. So, but when everybody goes home and you're by yourself, then that's when everything will hit you. But if you got a relationship with God, it's going to get you through it. Because there was days where I thought that I could not get out the bed. And he talked me out of the bed, and he talked me into my car so I could go to work. So, I mean, he just kept throwing word after word after word to me. So eventually, I was able to do what I needed to do every day, getting up, going to work with a smile on my face instead of, because I noticed that when I see my pictures after my son passed away, you can see in my face and in my eyes, you can see the hurt. You can see the pain. But pictures that I have taken today, a year and a half later, you see a much more better grounded person with that. But what I want to say to the mothers is, love on your children. Me and my son had the best relationship. Love on your children, because you never know when they are no longer going to be with you. So just love on them. My son told me everything, things I didn't even want to know. He would tell me everything because I told him I needed you to be honest with me with everything. You're my only boy. You are walking around in a world today that doesn't care about you as a man. So I said, you have to be honest. And if you can't be honest with anybody else, be honest with your mother. And why did I say that? He was more honest with me than anybody. He told me things I didn't even want to know. But I was trying to teach him integrity. And by the time he turned 20, he had that. He got that memo, and he read it, and he was walking with it. When we went to his funeral, and before the funeral, we was going on his Facebook page, and people were saying all of these things about him. And I was like, my son? Because apparently he had the knowledge and was giving out so much advice about life. And I was like, that can't be my son, because he would call me every 5 minutes for something. But he was out here helping everybody else make it from day to day. But every time he needed something, he'd pick, Mom, let me ask you this question. And it wasn't shocking because I knew the person that I raised. But it's like even those things that I read helps me today. Because if I had a son that was out here just like the person who killed him,
right,
I would be ashamed to be calling him my son. So I was like, everything that he has done, he set like goals. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And he would do it. Like, he was like, Mom, if you help me get a job when I graduate from school, I promise you, I won't mess that up. And he was doing good. I never had to say, go in his room and say, get out of bed. When I opened up his room in the morning at 5 o'clock, he was like, I'm already woke. He not dressed, but he already up. So I never had to really physically make him go to work, because he went to work. You didn't even have to tell him to go. He went. So I was really, really proud of him. But mothers with boys, you got to not allow them to play with guns. That's the beginning of what they do when they get older. If you playing with guns when you're young, and all of these games out here, because I know we used to let our son play those games. What was that game? Yeah, that he used to shoot people all the time.
Auto car
the video game?
Yeah.
One of the video games, auto car something.
Yeah, but like I would tell him, that's a game. That's not real. And don't think that because you're playing that game that you can go out here in this world and do the exact same thing. I watch them games. Those things will make you think that you can go out here and do the same. It's just so real. So I used to remind him that that's a game. And if you take it too serious, you won't be playing it anymore. So you have to watch your kids when they're playing these games, because these games will put them in a mind space where they'll go out here and commit so many crimes just by watching those games, those video games.
I believe you.
Yes, yes. And so we had never had any problems with him. You know, I could actually say he was the best kid because we never had any issues with him at all. Nothing bad. No police stuff, no nothing. And that's what I was like, my daughters, they were talking about him. I said, well, at least up until 20, we never had to go see him behind bars. I said, but that little munchkin that killed him, his mama had been watching him behind bars more than once. So that's part of their livelihood. But that was never a part of our livelihood.
Right.
Absolutely. And, you know, we always have this thing about parents, like, we have to start holding people accountable.
Right.
You know, you have to hold these
Right.
children and people accountable. You know, your children, they're doing all these bad things. Let's say it starts as young as when they're in school and they bullying another kid. You have to deal with those things. I mean,
Right.
something is going on with your child. Maybe your child needs some counseling to find out why they're so angry.
Right.
You know, we have to be able to have accountability to what's going on, to be able to make sure that our children are getting the best of everything of what they need. And it's not always about a pair of tennis shoes and the clothes
Right.
on their back.
Right.
And that just goes back to, you know, healthy parenting. And because like you said about the video games, it really bothers me to hear people say that we got to stop blaming the video games and the rap songs. And it bothers me because I feel like, especially in the society we live in today,
Right.
Reality TV, society has such a huge influence on our children.
Yes, it does.
And we have to be careful of what we're feeding our children's spirit.
Right.
We have to be very careful. I'm with you. As I listen to you guys, I literally am sitting here praying a hedge of protection around my 20-year-old son because I totally am thinking to myself, same thing, great kid, no problems,
Right.
focused,
Right.
big teddy bear. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, God, just put the hedge of protection around him, continued hedge of protection, because you're wrong place, wrong time.
Absolutely.
Just that
Right.
simple.
Right.
As much as my baby loves to go get some chicken,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Was
Right.
Like,
Yes,
I
yes,
can't
yes.
even imagine getting the phone
Right.
call and knowing that I have, like you said, if I complain, Tina and Daryl, if I complain about him, I would be lying. I would be lying. You know what I mean? And so I just can't imagine. And I, you know, and my heart is just breaking because
Right.
I don't ever want to have to experience something like that. But to hear that families are being devastated because of a knucklehead who has
Right.
no guidance,
Right.
he has no clue, and then on top of that, his family has no clue.
Enablers.
They're
Yes.
enablers.
Enablers. I
Yes.
mean, you have a person
And his
who have
poor little son.
Yeah, you have a person who's been in the
System.
court system probably
Right.
since a young teen,
Right.
and they still putting out that type of money for that type of lawyer.
Well,
Right.
she,
I mean,
Right.
she said that did she think it was her fault because she didn't give him what?
See, and that's a lot of times
Oh,
what parents do.
God.
Parents
see,
always feel they gotta
right.
make up for something with these children.
Yeah, but it's a little too late now
Yeah, paying a
To-
lawyer is too late.
to go and, you know, standing before the judge and saying, this is my fault, this is a mistake that I made. It's too late for that.
Right.
You know, he's actually done something to hurt somebody else. And now you're saying, oh, I'm sorry if I had done this 5, 6, well, how about like 2 years ago when the police picked him up for selling drugs and he was carrying a gun then? Instead of you letting him stay in jail to learn a lesson, you got him out. He only spent 3 days in jail. And she got him out. Well, with that little slap on the wrist, That's the reason why my son not here today.
Exactly.
You know, not only was it her, but it's the court system too.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah.
You know,
the court, I say that. I say that a lot. I really feel as though that the court system.
It's the
fails
court
a lot of
system
us.
too. They
It
got
fails
too
us.
many rights. You kill somebody and you got more rights than the victim. Where if you had not killed that victim, you would need these rights that you got right here because you be walking the street just like the victim. Yep, we couldn't say anything. We couldn't do anything, but his family could say everything that they wanted to say about him in court. They just totally stood up there. The thing about it was nobody had to put their hand on the Bible and say, I'm going to tell the truth, because they all came in there telling the lies. See, I had always said we didn't have to lie about Daryl because the judge could look at Daryl's Facebook page. He could look at his Instagram page, and it tells a story
Daryl
about
teacher
a
came.
good person. Yes.
Teachers was there.
He had a teacher that came there and did an impact statement. Yes. When he passed away, when we had his funeral, he had over 500 people at his funeral.
They all was teachers and
Yes.
people that hear cross the path. That's what we get to hear a lot. People contact us and it's like, I just want to come and buy a shirt and take a picture. He was like a brother to me, and I
Right.
just, you know, that once you're on my Facebook page, you'll see all the pictures that his friends came and took pictures with. You know what I'm saying? And just like it, and it is a point like today, kids like right now, I'm working on a program to go inside the Prince George's County kids to talk about behaviors, growing up behavior, reckless behavior, dangerous behavior. Just like remember, you finally seen the video I told you about the other day of the little boy leaning on his mother on the side of her. Then he grabbed her face, and then he just started hitting her with hooks. And I'm like, what the world? I mean, he broke out and did that. It's something he grew up with. Going to test, he gonna hurt a female. He's seen it, and that's what the kids see today. Like when I do a lot of speaking engagements, I tell kids, playing a video game, you can't reset a life. Don't get caught up out here in the game and you can't reset a life. I tell the kids about these things because, like, when I talk about rap records. Now, I mean, we all love our rap records coming up. But some of them, I got one that I was in the car listening to by 50 Cent. And I mean, I was like, Lord Jesus, I was riding around listening to the record. It feeds your head and makes you think you can be that hustler or that gangster or that killer that's in that rap song. You know, talking about, NWA when they was out and they had their records and, F the Police. And a lot of this stuff comes out later in life. And this is what Daryl Harrison Foundation is about. It ain't just about the point of the killing. It's the point about getting the guns out of the kids' hands today. That's when one of my motto is hashtag put them guns down. You know, look at the old lady in Southeast who was on her way to an appointment and two young men running by, firing guns at each other,
killed her.
You
She
know
was in
what
the
I'm saying?
wheelchair.
She's
Wasn't
in
in
the
the
wheelchair.
wheelchair, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody, I don't know if they caught anybody yet, but you could have just been a man up. Man up to what you're doing. Just man up, it was me. I shot them by accident. But you running and hiding behind it, which is going to fall down. I just need you to man up. You know, the young girl over on Saratoga Avenue, 17 years old, riding through, getting ready to go to college. Her mom was a cop.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, firing the gun. Y'all firing these guns, don't know how to use a gun. You just want to use one to fire one. You know, and it's ridiculous.
Well, I want to definitely come back so that we can continue our conversation. But radio. We have to take a break. So
Pay
we're
some
ready to go.
bills.
Right. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Time for a Change.
So this is the part y'all supposed to step up, put your shirts on, and come back.
Oh, okay.
I would love for y'all to do that.
From mixing up the light, when what we understand,
This is what my oldest daughter does. She's our music engineer.
it's everybody, it's a future shot.
Yes, y'all.
Hey, little sister, where's your brother? Future shock. Future shock. The price of the meat higher than the dope in the street. Isn't it a wonder for those with nothing to eat? Some got it made, but still seem so afraid. There's no love for his brother, no plans for another. Future shock, what's been going on? Future shock, everyone's alone. Future shock, don't know the people. Future shock, afraid of the sleeper. Future shock.
Hey, well, welcome back to Time for a Change with Sherry.
And McYon.
And we are in our last 30 minutes of the show. It goes by so fast.
So fast.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we need like a 4-hour Donnie Simpson show. Right? Like 4 hours. Hello. Okay. So, but yeah, we're here with our guests, Daryl Harrison and Tina Harrison, with the founders of the Crime Victims Foundation. And we've been talking to them this show after losing their 20-year-old son to gun violence in the DMV area on May 5th of 2016. So we've been talking to them about the effects that this tragedy has had on them and their family. And we've been talking about some of the things that the organization does. So we definitely want to use this time now to find out what it is and how people can get involved and what it is that you need from the community to help you continue your mission.
You want to answer that? At this time, you know, like I said, we just, you know, people, I jumped out there.
Mm-hmm.
I did a couple of speaking with Arlene, with Kathy, and one thing led to another, and I just looked at what's going to bring awareness, sell T-shirts. That's all I wanted to do. But then I started getting the speaking engagements, and one after another, people was meeting me and wanted me to come out. So, you know, it became more about telling my story to bring awareness, you know, to what's going on out there today with our children, and be able to be an advocate for those who may face what I'm going through. You know, this thing knock at your front door and the minute you don't understand. So I learned a lot from Kathy, Maryland Crime Victim Resource Center. I don't know if you heard of them. Yeah, so we all do things together. So I did 2 events since I've been up and going. My first event was his birthday, April the 26th. I did a birthday party for him in the park over here on Tucker Road. And, you know, some people came out. You know, it was a lot of family. Then the second one I did was in September, about going back to school. I gave away kids' shoes. I went out to an outlet store and I bought kids' shoes for kids. So, like I said, right now my thing is to bring awareness, you know, to understand so people can know what we're going through, because all they see is the outside appearance of a mother or a father. Yeah, y'all lost a child, but they don't know the inside of the pain and the grief and the suffering that we are going through. You know, crying every night. You know, you going out there and you crying on the way to work, and get to work and you wipe your eyes and face, and then you put your work face on and go inside. And I feel like I'm fighting to see about mental health. Mental health need to be something that we go, because if they talk about, remember how you said only post-trauma syndrome you knew about was in the military. But so many black families have been tormented with violence today. That post-trauma syndrome, I mean, because when I went to the doctor, that's what they gave me, post-trauma syndrome. They like, hey, Daryl, you can go ahead and get medical attention, and I ain't going through all that. I'm going to fight this. I'm going to stand up, and just like I tell people, I ain't got no degrees. I ain't went to no school. I'm just a grieving father, lost a child. And I just want to help others. Every parent that I meet, man, I hear a different story. I met a mother who lost her son 5 years ago. Her son killers are in jail for life. But she is not happy until she see their body brought out of the jail. You know, that's something. You know, and all these people, I'm hoping, you know, we get down and have a group meeting together. You know, I'm looking at growing group meetings. I'm looking at talking to youth kids in schools about growing up behavior, impairment behavior, even with domestic violence, because they beating and smacking their little girlfriends now. So if you're doing this now, what you gonna do as a man? You know, look at the father that ran over the boy that did something to his daughter. You know, they're dealing with that case out in Montgomery County because it's supposed to have been in Prince George, but it's pushed out there. So I just want to help people, bring awareness, comfort people. You know, I'm meeting mothers that I text out and I call, how you doing today? How you feeling? What's going on? You know, and I'm carrying their grief on top of my grief, but this is what Darrell Hurston Crime Victim Foundation is about. You know, like I said, people can reach me on my website, which is on the card, Darrell A. Hurston Crime Victim with CVF.com on the back. And I'm on YouTube as DAH, the number 2, CVF. And that's on my YouTube page. I'm on Instagram as the number 2 Darrell. And I don't use Twitter no more. I probably was the father of Darrell too. You know, but that's where we at. And I mean, and one day we had a ceremony bricklaying. I don't know if you were in Maryland Crime Victim, where you in the back of the court building up there. It's a garden where people, family, lay bricks at. And we had a ceremony. And the girl came up and introduced herself to me and said, I can't believe you here. And I'm looking at her like, you know, where I know you from? She's like, I see you on Instagram all the time talking about your son. I lost my son 5 years ago, and you keep me inspired with the things you're doing. And it was like, wow, people have been watching me. When really I'm just talking. And now I feel the purpose of being out there. We was on Channel 9. News interviewed us right after the sentencing. And I just want to be there to help other people because people don't know. So now, like when you ask me about gun laws, they need to change. They're old. They old. All gun laws and guidelines in Prince George's County are old. I bring up the point to them back in the days, in the cowboy days, you shot a man unarmed, you go to jail, and you was hung in 3 days. That's how serious their law was. And a lot of states now, their laws are tougher. 1980, back in the 80s, when they had crack cocaine came out in D.C., and they was killing, they raised the guidelines. They started giving drug offenders mandatory sentencing. Then Obama came in and changed it. Maryland needs to start doing mandatory sentencing. An ex-felon carrying a gun is mandatory 5 years. Any guy today, I ran into a police officer that met me, and he said, young man got caught carrying a gun. They went to court. He got 1 year in jail. 1 year in jail will say, all right, I can do another time.
Where do you think that that's coming from, though, for them to say that you only get 1 year? Why aren't they being tougher? Why is this? I'm always thinking, I'm so analytical. I don't know if it's designed.
It's designed. That's what I'm gonna tell you. It's a guideline.
It's designed to bring, you know, the community down. You know, I really feel that way. I really feel like giving that boy a slap on the wrist and allowing his mom to bail him out. It's about money. It's about how much money can we bring in. They know that these troubled people are out here. They know that they're going to bring money to them because they're going to get in trouble, and it is about business. You know,
they're building jails on everybody's property.
It's just amazing to me that they can continue to do these slaps on the wrist and just totally get away with it. So you give him 1 year, and he's already a convicted felon. He gets caught, you give him 1 year. What are you doing?
They say it's the guidelines to me. I asked him because the guy got 5 charges, and all 5 charges of killing my son, and if you know what other charges, was 140 years. But due to the guidelines, they tell me he can't get the 140. You got to suspend it. So they gave him 140, suspend all but 55 because of the guidelines. So I'm like, well, what is these guidelines?
So why even talk about that? Why even say, well, 140, but no, we're going to suspend all but 55. That don't even make sense. But all that stuff, that's why you're going in the right place now to be able to deal with legislation, because a lot of that stuff needs to come off the books. it needs to be changed and more and updated to be able to reflect the time as now what we need.
If
You
they come
know,
home, they get 20 years for involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah.
20 years. So you out within 10 or 15 of that year. So you committed this when you was 19. So 29, you out by the time you're 35 years old for manslaughter. Because that's what the court got you on. You know, just like when we asked them to go to trial, let's make sure he get everything he deserves. You know what they told us? Well, juries ain't reliable today. They see something different. I'm like, what? What is your system for then? So I do. When I'm out with chief of police, we've been talking. I told him, I want him. It's funny because I told him I wanted him to put a cowboy outfit on, and say it's a new sheriff in town, and just say no more in my county. You know, Montgomery County is much stricter than PG.
And you know why they won't do a jury trial in Prince George's County? Because we won't be jury. People always want off of the jury, right?
You correct about that.
Every time you turn around, we're always, oh no, I don't want to do jury duty. No, I don't want to do that. So what do? We end up having to leave it to the court to make the decision because nobody wants to sit and do their due diligence and do jury duty.
Not at all.
Then what they do is they make it so hard for you to do jury duty. They sit there and they ask you all of these crazy questions. So because Mignon has lost a child to gun violence, she won't be able to sit on it because I won't be able to sit on it because, you know, I have had family members who've been convicted of weapons and issues and you know what I mean? I won't be able to sit on it and we're supposed to tell the truth, right? And if we don't tell the truth, guess what? If it comes out that something happened, we just set up a mistrial. So much has gone on in the county that we can't even do the right thing by having a jury trial. So, you know, we leave it up to the judges and all of this. Yeah. So
but it's true what they say. It's politicians.
And they are part of the whole pipeline from the schoolhouse to the jailhouse. And set them up in there, you know, so
that stuff we see on TV, I learned is real.
Oh, and, that is really real.
It's real. But one thing we haven't discussed that people that I said I'm not going to hide from no more, we do more black on black crime and murder than anybody. I told people, a man was on Facebook, Ku Klux Klan, talking about, we ain't got to worry about y'all. Y'all taking care of yourself. We good. Y'all killing each other off. You don't want to look at that? You know, a lady, it's like the Black Lives Matter went to a conference somewhere and they let them come up and talk. And you know, not understand Black Lives Matter is a thing about the way white police treat black men. I understand that. And the lady said, well, what about the way y'all black killing each other? Y'all ain't talking about that. Then I want to talk about it because that's what we're doing.
Yeah, because that has to be addressed as well.
Yeah, we are definitely killing each other, robbing everybody, taking people's lives. You look on video, somebody walking out the store, dude run up on you, grab his car, and hit him in the head for what? Looking for what's the record that it means? The OJ record. Money.
Yeah.
A little bill to carry a whole lot of weight, and that's what it's all about. Money, what I don't got. I told people if a kid grew up in the hood, somewhere as long as he can't get nothing because mama maybe on crack or mama don't work, dad ain't there, he going to learn to take from that point on for the rest of his life. Everything he want, he going to take it if he's not raised rightly. He's going to take it because he can't get it. And that's where they start at, you know.
And look at the repeated cycle. I don't mean to bring up this this guy again who murdered your son, but look at the repeated cycle. So he has a son. So now he's in jail. So what happens? So now his son goes to visit him in jail.
Just like
his
dad, his father
cycle.
was
So
in
now
jail.
he sees his father
His aunt mentioned that in jail.
Right, and his family's gonna sugarcoat what he did and not make him responsible. So now the boy grows up with a whole bunch of anger and hostility towards the system and the whole environment as a whole because he didn't have him. So look at just the repeated cycle. Our people need to really catch on that, you know, we're doing destruction to ourselves.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We're doing destruction to ourselves.
Yes.
You know, so, but I am so glad you guys came on. Of course, we could talk for hours, and even, you know, not even just on the effects of it, but just legislation wise, and how do we incorporate sessions and things with Prince George's County, and how do we talk to our children about healthy behaviors and healthy relationships?
That's right.
And how do we talk to them about this? So we could go on and on and on, but I would definitely love to talk outside of here so that we can put on a symposium for the town hall and bring these teenagers out to this town hall. And we're going to have some real, truth, honest conversations about behaviors, healthy relationships, period, point blank period. And I think that we need to stop pussyfooting around, not making stuff mandatory.
Absolutely.
I'm
You know,
tired
my
of
MO
hearing
is the world won't get no better if
Right.
we let it be.
If we let it be. It's
and
just
that's
not
what
going
most
to
people
happen.
do. They just let it be, and that's
Yeah.
their whole thing with not dealing with things in the community. We think that if we don't deal with it, it'll get better.
It'll get better.
But it's not. It's
Just
never
go
going
ahead
to
and
get
brush it
better
up
until
under
you
the
address
rug.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Send little Johnny over his father's house because I can't do nothing with him. Little Johnny don't get better. He get worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they
Yes.
don't even see the kids. You see the kids today on Facebook, they violent. Always fighting. Somebody got a
Yes.
camera and they media.
Yes.
2 kids in school fighting. Little 8-year-old boy hung himself from being bullied. And now, just a while ago, a 3-year-old, 8-year-old girl hung and killed
She did.
herself.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
And the boy did it earlier this year, 8-year-old, from being bullied. How do you know where to go kill yourself because other people is pressuring
We
you?
was just talking about that. I said, how do a 10-year-old know to go hang themselves in a closet and do it? I said, I don't even know that. I just found out the right way how to split your wrist.
But you know how they do that though? The phones, because they got
they
phones
Google
too.
everything.
Yeah.
They can look up anything.
I'm a bus driver. I see my kids every day. They go on their phones and find anything that they
You
want.
can Google any and everything.
Anything. Yeah.
I used to
Well,
tell
we-
the twins all the time. They used to be like, "Mom, so what is this? Or how is this happening?" I'm sorry. You just asked me. What about all this that you doing and you couldn't type into Google? You better ask Google. That's what Google is for. Back in the day, I would have had to get out the car, walk to the library, get the encyclopedia
Right.
to find out. You better ask Google, and that's what these children are doing.
Yeah.
They're anything that they're curious about, they're able to pull it up.
Right.
So you know where to do a show on bullying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because, kids going to school today with so much from at home, divorce, maybe getting abused and beaten, anger, hollered at, and they come into school taking it out on other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And, then the mother get called up there, what? My child? Oh.
But
Yo,
one
jokes.
thing I notice about school, about kids, females, the girls, it's not about all of that. It's about who looks better than the next person. And they got low self-esteem. And what they do, they find that little pretty quiet girl who she's beautiful and she got low self-esteem as well because she don't think she cute. And then they start making, get another bunch of followers with them and let's get her. And they jump all on her and make her feel about this big. And then, she the one that's going to be the one that's going to kill herself while they sitting over there laughing because they got in her mind telling her that she ugly. And their stuff is about being jealous. And it's just one girl that's jealous, but she just knows how to run everybody.
Learned
That
it
is
from
so
home
true.
and learned it from home.
That is
Yeah.
so true. Well, guys, we definitely wanted to direct you to these beautiful purple T-shirts that we are wearing. If you would like to support the cause, the Daryl Allen Harrison II Crimes Victims Foundation, you can definitely go to their website and look at their products. And so that's Daryl A. Harrison, CVF.com, and grab you one of these awesome T-shirts. Also, we have another one here.
Have another T-shirt.
Definitely go to the website,
Let me see
guys,
what it
and
says.
support the
It
cause.
says, "Why must love be harmful to me or kill me? Stop domestic violence."
Stop domestic violence
That's
and
awesome.
stop the killing, guys. We
That's
have
right.
to stop
We
the
have to
killing. Support, support, support.
But before we wrap up, I definitely want to thank our guests. We appreciate
We
you for
thank you
coming
for
out.
having us.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
2018 is the year of next levels. I pray for next levels of healing. I pray for next levels with going out and speaking about this important issue in our community. I pray for next levels for you and your family. So, but we definitely need to work on something next year for healthy relationships
Most
and
definitely.
healthy behaviors with our teens. We need to call a town hall.
Sound like a partnership
Yeah.
to me. And
I
let's
think
get it
we
on.
definitely need to do that. So I appreciate you guys for coming out. So, of course, that's one more Time for a Change. I want you guys to know if you are on our Time for a Change Facebook page, you'll see that on December the 9th, McYon and I are going to start a 3-part series, Vision Board Session 2018. It's time to move to next levels. So we're going to do vision boards on December the 9th. That is this Saturday. If you're interested, make sure you log on and go to the Eventbrite page, Vision Boards 2018 with Sherry at McYon. And we're going to talk about the vision boards on the first session, which is December the 9th. We kind of switched the dates around, the sessions around, the dates, okay? So December the 9th, we're going to do the vision boards. On January the 13th, we're going to talk about defining the purpose. So we're actually going to go with your vision boards and actually define the purpose and create the mission. And we're going to help you start to strategically make SMART goals. And then on January the 27th, we'll talk about recognizing the setbacks. I'm very, very big on no excuses. Okay, so we want to recognize those setbacks that are going to happen all throughout the year and how we can get past them. And then we're also going to set up so that we can be accountable to each other, accountability partners, so that when those setbacks happen, we'll be able to call on each other so that we can get past those setbacks. Absolutely. To make sure that we're living these visions out and living on purpose and making sure that we're making a change and doing some things in the community. So whatever we have to do to do that, that's what we're going to do.
Yes.
And if we got to hold the session again.
Absolutely. So guys, definitely go to our pages and sign up. We do have an Eventbrite on there where you can register for the events to come out, and let's get that purpose together. Let's get those visions down. You know, God said, write the vision down. So we have to write it down and make it clear. And like Sherry said, we got to know that everyone have goals, but we have to have SMART goals, and those goals definitely have to be strategic and realistic. So we definitely want to do that. And so, Sherry, you have anything going on this weekend?
No, outside of the vision board.
Outside of the vision board. So we're definitely going to do that. Also, Friday night, I will be speaking for an organization called Bruised But Not Broken Ministries. It's in Silver Spring, Maryland at 3408 Hampton Hollow Drive, and it starts at 7 p.m. So I will be the guest speaker there. So if you want more information, this flyer is on my page, and you can just contact the information on there, and I'll see you soon.
December the 8th at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I ain't say that.
I'm just repeating it.
I know. I was going to say, I ain't say the date.
I'm just repeating
See, that's why I got my side chick
From
here.
Pain to Purpose. All right, so we will see you guys next week, every first and second Monday of the month, 6:30 to 8, with Time for a Change with Sherry
and McYon.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks, guys. I'm so glad you guys came out today.